Mic test, mic test. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being the strongest and the toughest listener in IMCA's Asia this session. And we all here together, and this is a very exciting topic because as a branding expert in marketing, we have very good lineup of speakers that will be sharing their insights and expertise, and of course, they're coming from well-experienced clinics and doctors about marketing and branding. And I'll be sharing the chair with Dr. Goyal Nilesh of
I'm from Mumbai, India. For those who don't know me, I'm a dermatologist and I practice there as a dermatologic cosmetic surgeon.
All right, so let's get it started. So I would like to welcome Dr. Sadiri Nasim, and she will be speaking about consumer drivers and market opportunities expanding Middle Eastern aesthetics. Wow. And cosmeceutical sector. Please give her a big round of applause.
Hello, dear colleagues. I'm Dr. Nasim Saderi. I'm a pharmacist and branding and marketing strategist. Okay, thank you. It's an honor for me to be here with you at IMCAS Asia 2026. Let's start with my presentation. My presentation title is Consumer Drivers and Market Opportunities in the Expanding Middle Eastern Aesthetic and Cosmeceutical Sector. Let's start with why the Middle East matters. Because it's one of the most dynamic beauty and aesthetic markets in the world. The key growth drivers are young population, high digital engagement, rising disposable income, and more awareness of beauty, wellness, and preventive care in this area. But growth itself is not the opportunity. Understanding what drives that growth is when the real opportunity exists. About consumer drivers, based on a survey of 1,800 adults across major Middle Eastern cities and complemented with expert interviews, we find that clinical efficacy is the most influenced by approximately 34%, and then ethical and religious certification 21%, and then physician endorsement 19%, and sustainability 13%. It means consumers are no longer purchasing products alone. They're investing in trust, credibility, transparency, and long-term value. About AI and personalization. Another important finding was the growing impact of personalization. Consumers demonstrated significantly higher willingness to pay when AI-driven skin analysis and personalized recommendations was introduced. In our study, willingness to pay increased by approximately 18%. The future of aesthetics will not be mass communication, it will be intelligent personalizations at scale. Understanding why consumers buy is only the first step. The next question is, where are the greatest opportunities emerging? The first opportunity is the science. Consumers increasingly prefer evidence-based solutions over marketing claims. Key growth areas, for example, peptides, regenerative science, exosomes, longevity-focused skincare, DNA repair technologies, and market shift from anti-aging to skin longevity. Yesterday, people asking, how can I look younger tomorrow? And today they're asking, how can I maintain healthier skin over the next decade? And key takeaway is the shift creates enormous opportunity for scientifically validated products and treatments. The second opportunity is digital and AI transformation. Beauty is no longer online or offline, it's omnichannel. It means People use social media, virtual consultations, e-commerce platforms, mobile applications, in-clinic experiences. Technologies transforming the industry are AI-powered diagnostics, personalized treatment planning, digital follow-up systems, and predictive analytics. The future belongs to organizations that successfully combine human expertise with intelligent technology. And the third opportunity comes from evolving consumer lifestyles. The new language of skincare. We have skinimalism, skinvestimalism, and skinification. It means skinimalism means less is more. Simpler routines, it means simpler routines, fewer products, more transparency. Skinvestimalism means buy less but smarter, quality over quantity, skincare as an investment. And skinification, skincare everywhere. It means infusing skincare benefits into all beauty categories. The future belongs to brands that understand, adapt, and elevate with three lifestyle-driven expectations. The first opportunity is regional and cultural advantage. One of the Middle East's unique strengths is its ability to combine heritage with innovation. Consumers is increasingly appreciate products incorporating culturally familiar ingredients such as argan oil, rosewater, and date derivative extracts. These ingredients represent more than tradition. They create authenticity, and authenticity creates trust. Today, cultural relevance is becoming a powerful competitive advantage. The next opportunity is halal beauty. In halal beauty, every drop carries a legacy of culture, trust, and authenticity. By 2030, Muslims will make up 26% of the world's population. Halal is not restriction. It is an ethical choice, and halal beauty resonates globally, aligning with clean and vegan trends. Halal beauty is not a limit, it's a global growth driver, making MENA the new hub of trust and authenticity. The last one is ecosystem thinking beyond the product. The future of beauty is not about selling creams, it's about building ecosystems. It means now we should integrate all science, for example, content and education, means skincare literacy, community and rituals, habit loops and social support, wellness, integration with sleep, diet and mindfulness, circular economy, refill systems and zero waste design. Beauty brands that build ecosystem, not just products, will define the next era of global leadership. To conclude, the Middle Eastern aesthetic and cosmeceutical sector offers extraordinary growth potential. However, growth will not be driven by products alone. We can see key consumer drivers, for example, clinical credibility, trust, ethical values, personalization, and meaningful engagement, and key growth opportunities for market, scientific innovation, AI transformation, lifestyle evolution, cultural relevance, halal beauty, and ecosystem development. Understanding why consumers choose is the first step. Transforming those choices into long-term trust and sustainable growth is the next. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sadiri. All right. Our next speaker will be Dr. Sher Gunter. Yes, sir. And he'll be speaking about, yes, from transactions to trust, how patient-centric loyalty systems reshape modern aesthetic practice.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to my session on From Transaction to Trust and how a patient-centric loyalty system can help establish this trust. Here are my disclosures. I don't have any. For my background, I'm actually coming from the automotive industry. So I spent decades in Asia Pacific with a German car brand, responsible for sales and marketing, the commercial aspects, customer experiences, the processes. And in 2008, when we established QTS Medical Laser Clinics in Singapore, I've brought some of these experiences into the clinic, and I've been responsible for running the clinic ever since. I'm also, and very proud of that, as a commercial guy, been involved in the publication of some scientific manuscripts. As you can see here, these were investigator-initiated interventional topics, but also one area that we have focused on lately, which is ethics. And we have published a review of ethics in medical aesthetics. We have published a book chapter and some articles. And some of the talks here will reflect that. Just a review of what the previous speaker said about the market. The market is growing. The market is full of innovation, new products. An interesting aspect of the market is that it has become mainstream. It is not something that people talk about behind, the hand anymore about doing Botox. It has become as part of a personal taking care of yourself. It is normalized. We have also seen, unfortunately, some of the overexposure of the market, in particular of the HA elements, where the magazines and the newspaper have talked about the overfilled syndrome of the pillow faces. And so this is the kind of background that we are currently dealing with. This is a study which is really interesting from Deloitte China and Allergan Aesthetics China that had a look at the market in 2025. And what they see reflects of what the previous speaker said about the Middle Eastern market, which is that there was an increase in the value in the premium aspect of the market. There's a decrease in the volume aspect of the market. People are coming more often to the clinic as part of their taking care of themselves, but they're spending less. One aspect that was really interesting in this study was that people were more and more looking for a continuous treatment journey. They were not so much looking at one-off treatments when they come in, but they're looking at a comprehensive treatment journey, and that has doubled from 15 to 29%, which is really, really interesting. When we look at the aesthetic medicine, we have to acknowledge that aesthetic medicine is not like any other form of medicine. Our patients are not sick. They come in because they want to look better, they want to feel better about themselves, they want other people to look at them in a different way. This is very different than other forms of medicine. You also see it is a very consumer-driven medicine. I think you have all experienced a patient who came in and showed you a TikTok or an Instagram and said, my friend has done this, I want to do this, and I only want to do this. And it's very difficult for the physician or for the provider to talk to them about what is appropriate for them. No standard credentialing is another truly unique aspect of our industry, which means that in some countries, you need to be a specialist to be an aesthetic provider. In other countries, a general practitioner. In other countries, you can do a course over the weekend and you can do certain aesthetic treatments. But I think one of the key aspects that differentiates our form of medicine from other forms of medicine is that the outcomes are subjective. In other forms of medicine, you have a test, blood test, or any other form of test. You do an intervention, you have another test and see what has worked, what hasn't worked. In our field of medicine, it is the patient who decides whether the outcome is good or not. And that is a tremendous responsibility also for the provider and a tremendous challenge for the provider. So when a patient comes in, the patient is confronted really with two aspects. One is with the clinical aspect. You as the provider doing the treatment plan, doing the indication, the suitability, the consent. On the other hand, what's also involved is thinking about retention, thinking about upselling, thinking about the commercial aspects of our form of medicine. And so I think this is a really unique aspect of our industry. This is another interesting aspect, study that was done by Deloitte China and Allergan Aesthetics China. And they looked at what are the reasons that patients are not coming back to a clinic. And you can see here, 80% is either experience-related reasons or treatment-related reasons. And you can say, okay, they're about the same. But when you look closer at the treatment-related experiences, what is it really that the patients decided, this is not what I want to experience, and this is, I don't want to come back to the clinic. You have things like unprofessional doctor. So when the doctor is not responding, is not listening to the concerns, this is reason enough for the patient not to come back. And so if you look at here, the last, on the treatment-related aspects, you only see about 21% out of 39%, which is 20 out of 40, which is about 8% of patients don't come back to a clinic because they're not happy with the outcome, which means 92% don't come back for other reasons. And in all conferences that I go to, everybody talks about outcomes. This is everything anyone just focuses on, outcomes. But we have to realize there are a lot of other reasons why patients are not coming back to your clinics. So let's look at the experience-related aspects. 18% or 40%, which is also about 20, all about 8%, almost the same as the outcomes, is because patients were not happy with the experience when they first came. They were not happy with the lighting, the sound, the smell, the furniture. Everything that contributes to a premium experience told them, this is not a place I want to come back to. Most importantly, the way that your staff welcomes the patient. Is the patient just another transaction, or is the patient someone that they see as a person? So you can see here on the experience-related aspect, 27% out of 40, so let's say 30% out of 40, which is about 12% of patients don't come back after the first consultation. So think about that. It takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of money to get patients into a clinic, and then they don't come back because the experience that they had for the consultation didn't give them the trust to continue with the journey. And so when I talk to my doctors about it, having treatment options is not a treatment plan. Just to give some options of treatments, for example, does not evoke enough trust for the patients to say, this is what I want to continue. I want to give you an example from another industry on why giving different choices is often the wrong approach. This is a study that was done, it's a bit dated now, it's about 2000, where the researchers provided 24 jars of jam, I think it was, an extensive selection to a group of respondents and let them run through it. And you can see 60% of the respondents were attracted to that because it looked very impressive. 3% bought. The next thing they did is, out of this 24, they selected 6 jars. So they did nothing else but reduce the number of choices. What happened? Less people went through it because it didn't look as impressive. However, 30% of patients, of respondents bought. Just by reducing the number of choices, resulted in a 10-fold increase of purchase, and that's something to really think about. So why are clinics now, as in every other consumer industry, reaching out for loyalty? And we have seen this in the automotive industry, where loyalty really, really becomes an important aspect. In our automotive industry, it was very clear. Sales sells the first car, service sells the second car, which means that if you are able to keep your customer within the dealership, when it comes to purchasing a new car, the service is mainly responsible for that. So why are now aesthetic clinics also reaching for a loyalty program? It's because new patient acquisition is getting harder and harder. The existing patient pool has to contribute more of the revenue. Frequency, as we have said, goes up while spending goes down. And so implementing a loyalty program is becoming more and more important. So when we started implementing our loyalty program in our clinic, we started with the traditional way of loyalty programs, which is the spending, which is the tiers. So we have a VIP, which is basically everybody, Platinum after you spend a certain amount in the past 12 months, PPS after you spend a higher amount. So these are our 3 tiers. So it was a very traditional one. But when we really looked at it, what was missing is some experiential elements of it. So what we implemented now, we had complementary treatment for face and body, obviously hoping that the patient, once they experience it, they will continue with it. We have priority access to appointments. We have home devices that we give out as rewards, referral rewards for friends. We have a bring a friend for consultation, and an afternoon with our medical director, Dr. Slever. So more and more we are implementing and adding experiential elements to our loyalty program. And the way we look at it at our loyalty program really, and this is probably familiar to you, is the way that healthcare systems are evaluated on their success. It's the structure, what are our tiers, what are our incentives, the process, and that's really where your staff plays a fundamental and critical role to reinforce and the outcome. Outcome is really measuring how many patients are in each tier, how many rewards, how many points are generated, how many points are redeemed, how many rewards are generated, how many rewards are redeemed, and so on. So what we are trying to reward, and this is a difficult aspect, I have to say, because we fell into some of the traps that we rewarded the wrong thing, but what we're trying to reward is the continuity of care, the treatment journey. We're trying to go away from the pressure. We're trying to go away from the expiry of points pressures and urgencies and prepayments and all those kind of things. Once you have that design, and once you have a couple of months or 6 months, 12 months of data, the next thing is really to look at the data and ask what is the data telling us. And when we looked at our data, it told us very specifically that the redemption of our points for our higher tiers, for our Platinum and PPS tiers, were over 95%. So these people who are spending more, who have a lot of experience with us, come back and come back and come back and redeem their points. The VIPs, which is basically everybody who had one interaction with us, the consultation, we've realized they only redeem their points to about 45%. And so we looked at that and we concluded that actually what they don't have enough experience with our clinic to build up the trust so that they become loyal patients. So we redesigned the VIPs. So we added, for example, milestone points. When they reach a certain milestone, we issued additional points. We added welcome points. When they first come to us, they got points. And it's really designed to experience them, to let them experience our clinic and our facilities and our doctors and our staff more often and establish the trust that they have to become long-term patients. So with that, I would like to leave you that trust is something that doesn't happen just by intentions of your staff, because staff have good intention, but it needs a design. And then I will leave you with a quote from the former US Secretary of State: "When trust was not in the room, good things did not happen. Everything else is details." Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice presentation. Can you please introduce the next speakers, Doctor?
Right, we now, that was excellent, Mr. Schulz. Sorry. We now call upon Brenda Liz Gonzalez, who's going to speak on practice growth and patient retention.
Thank you, Doctor. Have a safe flight.
Thank you. Sorry, I have to leave.
Stand.
Well, it's too short, even with heels. Thank you. And this is to click.
Yes, next, and then previous. This one is next.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Brenda Liz Gonzalez. I am a doctor in nursing practice, proudly born and raised in Puerto Rico, and the founder of Rejuvenate Aesthetics and Wellness in Worcester, Massachusetts, about 40 miles from Boston. Today, I will be discussing the relationship-based care and how it can transform your clinic into a trusted one, and driving patient retention, sustainable growth, and long-term success in aesthetic medicine. I would like to thank you for the opportunity of being here today. It's an honor. The aesthetic industry has evolved significantly. Patients are no longer seeking for results only. They are seeking trust, transparency, education, accessibility, and a provider who understands your goals and not just simply going by trends. In my practice, I have found that the strongest predictor of long-term success is not specific to the treatment itself. It's the relationship and the trust that we build with our patients. This case highlights a patient who presented following a prior calcium hydroxyapatite treatment performed elsewhere. The patient had experienced persistent infraorbital edema and malar swelling for several years following the treatment. Despite seeking multiple consultations, she felt her concerns were not being adequately addressed. She reported being reassured that her symptoms were nothing related to the treatment that she had received. She was even told that it was possibly due to allergies. She lost trust. She never wanted to return to any aesthetic practice. And then she found me due to word of mouth. As a result, she lived with periorbital swelling for several years when she was talking to me. And at the time when she presented to my practice, findings were very important. However, there was one key point, and it was that the significant burden that was in her life. She cried in the office, and she said, I hate looking at myself. And the loss of trust that she developed throughout the healthcare journey. Rather than immediately focusing on the treatment, we focus on understanding the patient. We discuss realistic goals, expectation, engage in shared decision-making, and spend time actively listening. The consultation lasted nearly 1 hour. That investment of time became a foundation of rebuilding trust again. Education is one of the important, powerful tools we have as a provider. But let me ask everyone in the room, are you truly dedicating time and educating your patients? By show of hands, how many of you routinely spend 1 hour on consultation for non-surgical aesthetic patients before performing treatment? Any of you? 1 hour with non-surgical patients? Awesome. Okay, I know. Early in my practice, I often performed consultations and treatments during the same visit. While this was efficient, right, I realized many patients needed more time to understand their anatomy, treatment options, risk, benefits, and expected outcomes. As a result, I changed how I worked in my practice. So I introduced the 1 hour with every patient that would come in for the first time. We today dedicate approximately 1 hour to consultation. This allows us to listen, educate, answer questions, and develop a personalized treatment plan before treatment is performed. In this particular case, ultrasound became an invaluable education tool. Using ultrasound, I was able to visualize the concern in real time, explain the anatomy, and review the treatment with the patient. When we hear the term luxury, many think about beautiful office, elegant decor, a cappuccino in the waiting area, or a matcha. However, true luxury in aesthetics goes far beyond the physical environment. It is about feeling heard, feeling safe, having an access to a provider, receiving personalized education, and experiencing continuing care. Patients may forget the color of your walls, the matcha you got in the waiting room, or the furniture, but they will always remember how you made them feel better. These elements create meaningful patient experiences that extend far beyond treatment, and it helps long-term trust, loyalty, and retention. So, results extended physical improvement, the patient regained confidence, trust was restored, and the relationship continued beyond initial treatment. This ultimately regained more retention in the practice because she referred me to everyone she met, her family, her friends, her neighbors, everyone. These are the outcomes that cannot be measured by before and after photos. So, this slide summarizes the growth model that I have observed in my own practice. Everything begins with trust, as you were talking earlier. Trust creates a positive patient experience. A positive patient experience involves retention. Retention leads to advocacy, and advocacy drives sustainable growth. Many practices focus on growth first. However, I have found that is not the starting point. Sometimes we want to see growth fast. We want to see our social media growing fast. But when we prioritize trust, education, communication, and exceptional patient experiences, growth becomes natural. In my experience, the most powerful marketing strategy I've had is not advertising patients who just have a result, but also just having patients who have trusted me and who have continued to return with their family, friends, and become a long-term advocate to my practice. Today's patients often meet us online before they meet us in person. Educational social media allows us to build familiarity, demonstrate expertise, and create trust before the consultation even happens. Digital engagement should focus on education, transparency, rather than simply promotion or trends, because I know a lot of, social media is about trends. Luxury branding is about appearing, it's not about appearing expensive, it's about consistency, professionalism, personalized care, and high-touch communication. When a branding, is shown by the trust that your patients have built with you. Thank you again. This is an implementation of relationship-based communication, education, engagement, and personalized experiences. We observe stronger consultation. And in conclusion, trust is the foundation of aesthetics in medicine. Education strengthens confidence. Patient expertise drives the retention.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Gonzalez, for that
you.
very in-depth presentation. Okay, so I have some few questions for each speaker, and I would like to start with Ms. Sadiri. Later, we can ask questions from the audience. So, Mrs. Sadiri, from the background of a pharmacist, what would you say is the best requested cosmetic product, and tell us more about it?
Please repeat, sorry.
What would you say is the best requested or top-selling cosmetic product from your line? And tell us more about it.
People now like products as I said, has a three vision. Has three.
Is it a moisturizer? Is it a cream? Is it oil?
No. Simple products,
Simple products.
Simple products, and I talk about Eskimolis. It means simple and simple routines.
Okay.
Skin Vestimolis, simple but an investment product like this. And skinification, it means products, skincare in beauty products. And one product and
That can do everything, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
So it's more of like simplifying but effective.
yeah.
Correct. Thank you so much for that answer. Mr. Sher, how do you register to be top tier or a VIP? Is it by points or can it be availed by membership fee?
No, it's by points. Yeah.
By points.
Yeah. So we have 3 categories. VIP is basically everybody. Everybody who comes in and pays for consultation is a VIP. Platinum member is someone who spends more than $6,000 per year.
$6,000 per year.
In the past 12 months. The system recognizes if the spending goes over 6,000, then they become platinum and they have certain benefits and so on. And BPS, which is, if anybody knows, Singapore Airlines has a BPS, it's the highest tier. In Singapore Airlines, it's called the Passenger Priority Service. We call it the Patient Priority Service, so it's also PPS.
So they get like a fast access for consultation time.
No, they're regular patients, so they get fast access to Dr. Sylvia. Dr. Sylvia is our medical director, and her waiting time now is 4.5 months, and so PPS members get guaranteed access to her. So that's how we structure it, and it's quite interesting that how important these points are to patients, how important the level are, and so in some of the circumstances, we have to really make a decision. So, for example, we just had this recently, I think in May, where a patient was on the cusp of becoming a PPS, and she wanted to. The doctor scheduled a treatment for her in September, and she wanted to pay now because she wanted to do it now. And so we told her that actually it's not clinically indicated, so she can have the treatment. However, we usually don't allow pre-purchases, but in this case,
So you cannot
we
buy
allowed her to make the purchase and the treatment in September. So there's always a conflict about this sort of what is clinically indicated and what is sort of in the realms of commercially acceptable, and so you have to just be aware of this conflict.
Definitely. Amazing. Thank you for the answer. A question for Ms. Gonzalez. Okay. All right. You have the mic. Okay, so since you're talking about like trust, right, and patient relationship, how do you approach a client coming from your practice who had a bad experience and posted it in social media?
Can you say?
So how would you approach a client who had a bad experience from your clinic practice and then she posted it in social media?
I have not gone through that yet.
Not yet.
So obviously, it's not something that I would be able to, to answer. But if that's the case, I would obviously, if that were to happen, then I would have a conversation with the patient and contact her to.
Ask her to do a follow-up.
Yeah, of course.
And then reassess again and perhaps
Exactly.
like things that can be done to make the relationship longer.
Yeah, yeah.
To the trust back, right?
Yeah. Yeah, thank God that's never happened. Not yet,
Not yet.
thank God. But if it were to happen, then that would be the case. I would
Definitely.
have a conversation.
Send her a direct DM and ask her for a follow-up in a very approachable tone. I think.
That's correct.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the audience? Yes?
Yeah, I have a microphone here. So to the colleague from my own country, I'm from Germany as well, Dr. Sophie. Nice to meet you. Oh, Austria, sorry. So sorry, but neighbors. So as we face a lot of globalization and medical tourism in our field, how would you approach these patients that come with very little time, not the possibility to make like more holistic programs in a sustainable way? How do you approach these patients?
So generally, we follow your structure that we don't have the treatment at the same day as the consultation, because we have an hour booked for a consultation, and the treatment is then at another point. But when we know, Singapore does have a lot of patients coming in from Sri Lanka, from Vietnam, from Indonesia. And so we start that journey beforehand. We have an electronic medical record system where we send them the link and they fill out the questionnaire with their concerns and with their motivation, with what they're looking to achieve. And then we ask them for photos, and we sort of have a teleconsultation beforehand. So we have a pretty good idea what we're going to do. And we also share the potential treatment plan with her. And then when she comes to the clinic, or he comes to the clinic, mostly she comes to the clinic, then we just do the photography and make sure that we have the right understanding. But then we'll proceed with that treatment plan. But in Singapore, patients come there regularly for medical checkups, for their general health. So they do come on a quarterly basis, and they're quite regular. So we have Indonesian patients who have been with us for 10 years, and once a quarter they show up, and we treat them, yeah. So that's, they're in the same, whether they live in Singapore or not, they're in the same sort of treatment journey that we plan out for them.
Thank you.
Ma'am?
Good afternoon. So I come from a metropolitan city in India where the patient load is very high, very, very high. In public hospitals, if you have 10 to 12 doctors in the OPD, it's like maybe 600, 800 per day. And even in private clinics, I've seen doctors cater to at least 40, 60 patients per day, maybe more, depending on the scale of the clinic. So in my experience, I have not seen doctors dedicate maximum maybe half an hour, maybe 30 minutes, or maybe even like they dedicate up to 5 minutes or 10 minutes also to patients. So in a densely populated, high volume clinic or in a hospital, how do you suggest that a doctor should build patient trust in the limited time that they have?
Who would like to answer the question?
Yeah, my suggestion would be to raise prices. Yeah, to raise prices because as we have shown from the Deloitte China and Allergan China, the volume play is reducing, and you don't want to be in the volume play. You don't want to be in the mass. You don't want to be in that space. You want to be in that space where you have the time, where you can talk to the patients, and that only works if you raise the prices.
I could answer a little bit of that. I didn't used to charge for consultation. I don't like to talk about charging or pricing, but I didn't used to charge for consultations, but now I do, where I do charge for that full hour with the patient, and that has become way better than just having free consultation or even just a minimum on that consultation fee. It just helps to decrease the people that are coming in for specials or for promos.
Yeah. In our clinic, we not only charge for patients, we charge them before they come in. If they don't pay 24 hours at least, or at minimum before the treatment point, we cancel the appointment. Because what we have done it also before, in back in the day, we didn't charge for consultations. At least 50% didn't show up. At least 50%. Now they pay the consultation fee and everybody shows up.
They also have to pay for the consultation.
Like a reservation fee.
We are not so, things can happen, right? If they don't show up and there's no news from them, we would. But if they say, okay, I had an incident or whatever, then we will schedule it. We're not that sort of.
All right. All right. Did that answer your question? I'm sure. Doc, yes. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I am Dr. Julie from Myanmar. It's an Asian country. I would like to ask one question. Like in my country right now, so many clinics from and they have a lot of competition. with the price. Give it discount and promotion all the time. So can I get a suggestion? How we can survive during this price war?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that question. I am doing sales and marketing for 8 years in my clinic right now, and I value education, expertise of my doctor, Dr. Cyril Agan, and we never discount because I don't want my clinic to be branded as a discounted clinic. If the clinic is discounted all the time, the clients will wait for the time to do the discount. So there is no transaction in between. They go to the discount, but not for the expertise and for the output. So I would suggest put more value in your doctor, trainings, perhaps awards, more premium products, and you will be a niche or on a top tier clinic wherein you're going to be catering for more smart clients, the ones who have budget and the ones who doesn't have discounts. Because I feel like if the client is asking for a discount, that's a red flag already, right? And these are the clients who will really ask for, what is this? What is that? Please, doctor, you know. That's my experience.
Yeah,
Yes?
I totally agree. I think in the short term we will lose business.
Definitely.
In the short term we will lose business, but you gotta get your key doctor, and I don't know how many doctors you have, but your key doctor has to become a KOL, has to be speaking internationally, has to be visible, and that has to be communicated. Our doctor, Dr. Sylvia, is global KOL for Allergan, and patients love that. When she speaks in Korea to the Korean doctors and trains Korean doctors, they love that.
Yes, sir?
Yes, exactly. That would have been my question. How do you, you go to the conference, you do a
Yes.
video of yourself, how you
Yes.
stand there, I'm here, I'm looking for the newest treatments, but what actually drives patients to trust you before they know you? So,
Credibility.
yeah, but we also have a lot of doctors dancing on TikTok, and it also works. You know what I mean? So,
Dance
is there?
sometimes.
So the question is, do you should your goal be to be going viral and hoping, okay, they see me dancing, but they also see other videos where I'm talking serious, or should it be I'm not trying to be viral and just do serious stuff? It's a very small.
I know. In my view, doctors who dance on TikTok do our industry a great disservice. Great disservice. You don't see a cardiologist dancing around.
I mean, this is the one
And
extreme.
so, no, but there are many. It's not one doctor who's dancing. It's a lot of doctors who are dancing. It's ridiculous. So I think we need to, us as practitioners, we need to take ourselves more seriously and say, this is not the way I want to come across. But yeah, it takes a long time. I mean, we have been doing this for 20 years now, and for Sylvia to be a global KOL, it takes a long time, and she has published tremendous amounts in her old life as a pediatric nephrologist, but in the new life as an aesthetic doctor. And this publication is something that signals to patients, this is someone who takes this seriously. And so that is how I want to differentiate ourselves in our clinic, and that's what we do.
All right.
Answering your question, again, I also don't offer, I used to offer discounts, I don't offer them anymore because it drives the right population to your practice. When people have discounts, they jump from practice to practice rather than building that trust and staying with you. So it brings the right people to your office rather than having the same pricing everybody else has.
So you never give discount, like mean that if the patient buy 3 times and package price?
I don't, not anymore. No, I used to, but not anymore. The only time I actually offer discounts is on Black Friday, which we celebrate in US. But
yeah.
that's the only time we do that.
Yeah.
We stopped a few months
yeah.
ago. We said no
You can
more
do the
discount.
loyalty program.
So
Loyalty program.
so loyalty programs is important because you want to lock them in. If you have like 150 points that are worth $150, they don't want to go somewhere else Because they want to spend it with you.
You mean like wallet, money wallet? If that,
So I mean, loyalty points, like any other, like Singapore Airlines, you have points, you want to use them.
Why?
But in terms of promotions, in Singapore we can't do any promotions like publicly. That's not allowed. Within the clinic, we do have promotions because I have 3 other doctors that I need to fill up. While Dr. Sylvia is busy for the next 4 months and there's no slots, the others are not. And so any promotions that we run is excluding Dr. Sylvia. So we do encourage, we do have promotions from time to time to make sure that our other doctors are busy as well.
so we only should do like the loyalty program. And also, yeah, right.
I mean, that's one way. That's one way of encouraging them to stay. So once they become like platinum, they have certain benefits, right? They have complimentary face treatments, complimentary body treatments, they have complimentary home devices. So once they experience that, they want to experience it again next year.
Yes, I have a suggestion. What we're doing right now is whenever we're away of the clinic, let's say he's talking, I'm away of the clinic, and what I'm going to do is post about discounted beauty vouchers while we are away. So in limited time, we're in Bangkok, we're going to sell this discounted vouchers for this limited amount only. So the time that we're away, they can actually buy the vouchers and we can have still a sale in our clinic. Can we have the last question, Miss?
Yeah, okay.
I'm Dr. Kara from Singapore. Mr. Schultz, I have a question for you. I feel that the strongest version of getting new patients is through word of mouth, and you mentioned that it's a very, very strong thing that you guys do, and I saw that you also have very strong referral benefits. I'm just wondering what the referral benefits are like, what you suggest.
So what we have is we give points. So in our 3, so there are different referral benefits for the 3 tiers. So for the VIPs, I think it's $50 for the referee as well as for the referrer. So both parties benefit.
Yes.
For the platinum, it's 75. For the PPS, it's 100. You know, thinking that if you are a PPS member who spends more than $12,000 with us a year, I want to talk to your friends. You know, and so we have staggered, and that's all within our app. We have an app that handles all this, and what the patient does from the app, they just send a link to their friend and say, check it out.
Yes.
That's how they, and that's how we work. And the system captures this. Yeah, so that makes it. You're right. The referral is a really, really strong. It's a really strong aspect. Some people don't want people to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They want people to say, "Wow, you look great." Oh, really? I'm not doing anything. We still see that case. I mean, we still have patients who pay a lot of their treatments in cash because they don't want that to show up on their credit cards, so their husband can't see. So that there's still an aspect of I don't want to be too transparent, but it's got much better than like 10 years ago.
And does it matter how much the new patient spends?
So it has to be at least to have to come for a consultation, right? And the consultation is paid. So we want them to be a real patient, not just someone who shows up. And then they get when they come in, they get the $50 points that they can spend at the next visit, and then they want to spend, and then sort of we want them to come back and come back.
Thank you.
Continuous flow of network. Okay, can we request all the speakers to be in front and we can have a photo? Thank you everyone for attending.